Hey everybody, it is November 15th, 2007. I am Sonic Sons. I'm doing a video called How to Earn My Vote. This is, of course, about politics, which I've commented on before, partially in the E-Nation deal and the ideas of what we might do entirely differently in time to come. And I've also commented about, well, the sad state of politics as it currently is. Now, you could say politics has always been in a sad state, and, to varying degrees you may be right. Over the last, say, 6 or 7 years, in America anyway, it's been particularly bad. So as you don't know, we have a presidential election coming up for 2008, for the next president to take office in 2009. And I'm wondering who to vote for, or who deserves my vote. I don't know. It's a weird thing. I think I like Obama. In fact, perhaps I really like Obama, but I'm afraid to say that I really like anybody. Because the last 6 or 7 years have made me pretty cynical. It's like, oh, you know, I mean, just politicians lying, politicians caught in scandals, politicians just having scandals and no one seems to catch them in them. I mean, all the stuff that Bush has done, and, you know, I'm not talking crazy conspiracy theories, by the way. I'm talking about, you know, I mean, like, why are we in Iraq? Isn't somebody holding him accountable for the total lack of WMDs, and, you know, he was totally wrong, and all these... I'll save it for another video. You know, as a matter of fact, I'll save the individual analysis of all these other candidates for another video. Talk more in broad terms of what I'm looking for in a candidate. Well, it should be pretty simple, right? What matters is policy. What matters is what the candidate's going to do when they get into office. Their plans and their ability to execute those plans. Obviously, it is possible to have someone with good ideas and just they don't have, oh, I don't know, the speaking talents or negotiation skills and other things that you might need and all that stuff. But the biggest thing is just, you know, the policy. Like, okay, what are your plans? And furthermore, can I trust you? You might say honesty is even better than policy. Whatever. There's several things that are up there. I'll tell you what's not out there. These random little things we end up getting caught up in. For instance, all the discussion about who's winning. Now, on some level, I can see how that's interesting. I mean, you know, I want to know, what does America think? Who is leading the polls? But I hear so much reporting of this in the media. You know, and this poll went up here, and this one down here, and Hillary Clinton's still besting Barack Obama by a large margin, and yeah, you know, and I don't particularly like Clinton, by the way. He just seems a little too much like a politician, in the bad sense of the word. But I won't get into all that right now, because I haven't really prepared anything to say. I'm talking about how to earn my vote. But alright. So I'll tell you what doesn't matter is, you know, the actual fact of who is currently, like, leading and who's gaining and losing and who, and you know what? That's important to an extent. But what really matters is not who is winning, but who deserves to win. That's what I want to know from the media. You know, I mean, not that, you know, I don't want them to just tell me, like, this is who you must vote for. Obviously, their job is to provide information, and analysis of that information, all these sorts of things. But, you know what I mean, though? Like, I want to know who deserves to win. I want to know, like, actual policies. Dig down into the policies, dang it. It seems what the media does is to kind of sit back and, like, you know, if, for instance, a lot of people get excited about someone's new healthcare plan, then they might say, oh, so-and-so has a new healthcare plan. Here's a couple details. Leave it at that. And then, like, they'll bring in an analyst, and the analyst will be like, you know, not whether or not the healthcare plan, in our example, will work, but rather, will it get the person elected? No, see, we're not supposed to sit around wondering who the rest of America is going to vote for, or the rest of whatever country you may be in. You're supposed to look at the candidates, analyze them as best you can, make a judgment, and vote for the best person. There's so much energy devoted to, it's like a horse race or something, right? Because when horses are racing, there's not much the audience can do. You just sit there and we kind of cheer and you kind of... No. This is an election, people. We decide. We decide. We ought to decide. We have to start thinking seriously about all these things. So, I want to know, a politician's going to be honest, right? Obviously, a big way to do that is look at their record. So politicians, if you've made mistakes, how to earn my vote, right? First, please, admit your mistakes. Please. Of course, it'd be better yet if you didn't make mistakes in the first place, but people make mistakes. So, I mean, you hear a lot of things, they ask a politician, just kind of an offbeat question. So, have you ever smoked marijuana? And like 90% of the time, the politician goes, well, I had some once, but I did not inhale. This sounds like politicians speak, They're phrasing it so that if someone comes up with an eyewitness, or better yet, a video of them smoking marijuana, then they can be like, no, wait, there I am, not inhaling. And I would kind of prefer someone who hasn't tried drugs at all. But if you have tried drugs, please be honest about it. Which, by the way, Obama did. They asked him once, and he said, yeah. And then the follow-up question, did you inhale? And he said, well, that was the point. He got a big laugh. And he doesn't generally support marijuana. But he was just admitting this is something he'd done. Like, oh, okay. You've earned a little bit of my trust. All right? Another thing, have an actual policy. Have an actual plan, and for how things are going to work, and tell me what it is, and then stick to it. And then you're allowed to change your mind. Yeah, reasonable people change their minds here and there, but then change your mind for a reason, and explain to me what has changed. Because you see so many people that supported this one issue, and then suddenly on the other issue, and then this, and then that, and that. And it's like, wait, what do you believe in? It doesn't even have to be in direct things, like I'm pro-gun or I'm anti-gun. Sometimes it'll be the guy, goes to an environmentalist group and says, we need to protect the environment. And then he goes to industry group and he says, we need to protect industry. And then, at no point does he make any mention of how environmental protections can, negatively impact industry. It can happen. It has happened. And similarly, protecting industry can harm the environment. And obviously, everyone, we like the environment, we like the economy, you want to, do both of them at once. But could you give me a discussion about how, it's going to be kind of a trade-off? And could you be specific? There is another thing. Could we be thorough? Please. That's what I want. We've had some 30 debates on TV where we get all the candidates of one party and we ask them essentially the same questions, right? And you think with 30 debates we'd have a really good idea of who these candidates are. We don't. Because it's really just one debate 30 times over, essentially. And everyone just kind of comes up with their buzzwords, and they just kind of just restate their position, and they... I'd much rather have is one debate of 30 times the length, right? You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to do a one-on-one. If I was running CNN or whatever, do this, I'd make a big deal of this. I'd be like, coming in August, one-on-one with Sonic Sons, all the presidential candidates, and then here's how it would work, right? So it'd be me and the candidate, and we're gonna talk for 8 hours within, say, a 24-hour period. So, you can have a break, obviously, somewhere in the middle and all these things. But just me and the candidate are going to talk. And in 8 hours, you can't stick to your platitudes for that long. right?